So how do you save a ton of money while preparing for an emergency? With an at-home, in-home freeze dryer from HarvestRight.com. Freeze dry your favorite foods, meats, vegetables, and fruits, and even entire meals. Make it a part of your long-term food storage strategy with an in-home freeze dryer from HarvestRight.com. Click the link below right now. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV Alternative Media Television. It is, of course, April 11th, 2014, and I wanted to comment on the showdown that is currently occurring in Clark County, Nevada, over a rancher that has clear grandfather rights to this territory. Nowhere in the U.S. Constitution, according to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, does the federal government or any federal centralized agency have the right to steal land that Cliven Bundy, the gentleman here, has been working along with his ancestors since the 1800s. Cliven Bundy, figure that the mainstream media is even now picking up, mostly because it's exploded on the scene as a very freedom and liberty-oriented issue. A direct violation, again, of the U.S. Constitution in the Enclave Clause, again, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution, which says that the federal government has no right to openly steal land to protect an endangered desert tortoise. And, of course, that's just a lie. That's a pretense. It has nothing to do with protecting these cute little guys here eating the flower. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Has everything to do with total power, total control over our land here in the United States, Agenda 21, and really the Orwellian intentions of the government itself. A government, by the way, officials like Eric Holder that want you to wear a bracelet, a digital bracelet that they can turn off and control in order for you to exercise your Second Amendment in this country and defend yourself. Again, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Enclave Clause of the U.S. Constitution says that the government of the United States and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislator of the state, in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. Nowhere in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the U.S. Constitution, the Enclave Clause, says that the federal government can steal land, public land, land from the state of Nevada. Again, this is about state rights versus the federal government, something that our founding fathers feared. People like James Madison and many others feared Orwellian totalitarian control by force from the federal government to steal land that is rightfully the state of Nevada's and should be able to be used, as has been the case, and grandfathered over hundreds and hundreds of years from the Cliven Bundy family. Now, there, of course, has been a showdown at this Nevada ranch. Members of Cliven Bundy's family have not only been arrested, but a pregnant lady has been knocked to the ground, and they are being intimidated by snipers on the ranch in a military-industrial complex aimed to strike fear in the average American's hearts. And what's incredible about this, and is very inspiring about this, is Cliven Bundy here is the last remaining rancher of hundreds that have already been pushed off the land. I mean, think about how American this is. Ranching, cattle, some of which is estimated he has over 500 that are being rounded up. Some of them slaughtered and murdered because some of the cattle have been giving birth to calves and now they can't give them their milk and so they're dying. Also, that the federal government says they could protect this little cute guy here eating a flower. Now, of course, it has nothing to do with this at all. And this is direct, overt, Orwellian control. This is a totalitarian takeover, a dictatorship being exercised by the federal government that has no right, not just under the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, but no other right to declare sovereignty over something that is owned by the states. Again, this is a state rights versus federal government issue. Now, in the meantime, militia members have been showing up Hundreds, reportedly, are coming to the ranch from all over the country, places like Texas and Arizona and others, to support the Cliven Bundy family in this showdown on the range. Nevada rancher feds face off over cattle grazing rights. So this is a very public protest. This is a very public event. And many fear that this could escalate and could become another Waco-style event, another Waco moment. And of course, the Cliven Bundy family and members of the protesters and the militia, this is the last thing that they would want to see happen. And if there was any violence, it would come from the snipers and the gross military overreach coming from the federal government and the Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, which is the aggressor in this case, which have been the comments coming from Cliven Bundy, as well as members of his family, his son who was arrested, and others that are being knocked to the ground, pregnant women, and intimidated by the BLM. Again, all so that they can sell you on the idea, a false pretense that it's about saving these guys. That, by the way, Cliven Bundy's 500 cattle, plus cattle, some estimates are more, worth about 1,000 a head, are roaming over 500,000 plus acres. So the ratio of acreage to desert tortoise clearly makes no sense, and these little cute guys here eating this yellow flower are clearly not at risk. And again, nowhere in the U.S. Constitution, the Enclave Clause, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, does it say the federal government or the BLM or any other federalized agency has the right to take over and steal land that is rightfully the state's, being used by the Cliven Bundy family and many others who have already been driven off the land for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Again, these are grandfather rights going back all the way to the 1800s here for the Cliven Bundy family. This is an absolute outrage and is very scary in the fact that you have county commissioners saying that Bundy supporters better have funeral plans. Again, it's these people here that would be, in my opinion, the ones responsible for any escalation in violence and a situation that could escalate into another Waco-style event. And, hopefully we do not see this occur in 2014 in April, at a time when America's liberty, and again, this is about all Americans' liberty. This is about all Americans' freedom. This is about the U.S. Constitution. This is about all those wars that are being fought overseas, supposedly, are being fought to protect. It's what millions and millions of Americans have died for, have given their lives and their bloodshed. Also that we could have this, an overreaching, federalized government stealing land and threatening and intimidating Cliven Bundy and his family. This is intimidation towards all Americans, people everywhere. And, if we were to continue to allow this gross overreach and these direct violations of the U.S. Constitution, we are only opening ourselves up to a total Orwellian and totalitarian environment, something that we feared and that we have fought wars to prevent. Fought wars against other totalitarian regimes so that America is never placed in the position where it fears a centralized force violating everything that America stands for, everything that the Old West stands for, and freedom stands for. One of the reasons members of Cliven Bundy's family and others, the countless others, millions of Americans went west and came to the United States in the first place for religious freedom and freedom of all kinds, and the release of government totalitarian tyranny. I encourage you all to share this story everywhere. If you want to know what you can do to have an impact to help Cliven Bundy and to protect all Americans' liberty and freedom, what you can do is share this story and share this video. Don't just get it out to tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people. Get it out to millions of people. Share it on Facebook, tweet it out via Twitter, email it. Just get it out everywhere and make this a national issue. Make this an issue that every American understands, and educate every American on Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Enclave Clause, which clearly states that the BLM, this totalitarian rogue force, is in the wrong. That what they are doing is not only anti-constitutional, but it is illegal, and it is overt stealing. And again, this is about state rights versus the federal government. And our country was set up this way. People like James Madison feared this kind of control and feared these types of events. Like this guy right here, President James Madison. Again, there's a reason for this precedent. There's a reason for the Enclave Clause, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the U.S. Constitution. Please rally your support around Cliven Bundy and his family. And again, this is bigger than Cliven Bundy and his family. This has everything to do with America, the U.S. Constitution, your freedom, and your liberty. Please get it out everywhere. Make it viral. I'm Christopher Green. Hard-hitting and in your face.